What now waits Zelensky of Ukraine? Trump's lawyers beautifully trapped him. Since last night, all of Hollywood has been practically biting its nails with jealousy. Trump and his company presented to the public the final act of the crime adventure drama, The Green Goblin, where a provincial comedian took on the role of the caliph for an hour, but in the end he was burdened with all the debts of the burnt-out theater. With a high probability, Donald Trump took screenwriting lessons from Vladimir Putin as the plot developed rapidly and non-linearly, and no one expected such an ending. Just over a month ago, the American president sent the U.S. Treasury Secretary to Kiev to sign a rare earths deal with Ukraine, but Zelensky predictably refused. When the Kiev clique realized that Trump was not joking, they began to maneuver, saying that Ukraine is not against the deal in principle, it just needs to be discussed in terms of details and terms. Holding a dramatic pause, the Americans yesterday sent Kiev a new, improved version of the agreement, and these improvements caused brain explosions in Bankova, which only Oresnik can surpass. It turned out that now the Americans need not only the rare metals, which Zelensky was already ready to deliver, now they do not need to memorize exotic names from Mendeleev's periodic table, because the Americans intend to take not only the rare metals, but also all the other elements on the table, the frame of the table, the nails and holes to the wall, the building where it's located, and the land on which the building stands. That is everything plus interest. The Wall Street Journal reported that a senior Ukrainian official, after reading the draft of the new agreement, said that, quote, it looks as if Ukraine fought the United States, lost, was captured, and now has to pay reparations for life, end quote. This official is actually very optimistic because the reality is much, much worse. In short, the new U.S. proposal is simple. Ukraine must hand over all its natural resources and, moreover, all its infrastructure. From the 4-page document in February, which Zelensky had rejected, the agreement has now expanded to 55 pages with a detailed description of the reparations, what Ukrainians should now give to the Americans. 50% of the revenues from all current and future projects related to natural gas, oil, metals, and other natural resources. That is, everything that exists in nature. All infrastructure, roads, bridges, ports, gas pipelines, energy, etc. Payment of $350 billion, which according to Trump was sent to Ukraine as military aid from 2022, and recognition of them as commercial loans that must be repaid. 4% annual interest on all outstanding debts from 2022. Handing over to the U.S. actual control of all Ukraine's agreements with foreign countries relating to natural resources, including transportation and trade. And all this without any security guarantees, let alone NATO membership. As expected, Zelensky immediately held a press conference last night where he ironically rejected the new version of the agreement, stating that Ukraine will not consider U.S. military assistance as a debt. It's extremely interesting that even such biased media outlets as the Wall Street Journal and the Telegraph immediately noticed that the new agreement was designed so that Zelensky would definitely reject it. In fact, Zelensky's official refusal is beneficial for Trump for two reasons. Each time the terms become tougher, who said the word Putin? And if Kiev finally agrees, even better, but this takes time and Trump neither can nor wants to wait. Zelensky's British lawyers probably assured him that Trump could do nothing to him because, according to the U.S. Constitution, laws do not have retroactive effect, and the aid Biden gave him was not legally recorded as a loan. But they forgot that a determined and highly motivated U.S. president can turn laws into rubber Moreover, there are many ways for American debt collectors to turn aid, quote unquote, into debt and claim it. In other words, the warrant for Zelensky's arrest and the seizure of his assets have probably already been issued. The deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, amply observed, if the Kiev regime approves the deal, the drug addict, that is Zelensky, and his gang will most probably be hanging in the air over Maidan Square like Mussolini was. If it rejects it, the United States will overthrow the Bandera regime. It sounds like a great movie ending, where with music playing in the background, two tired but satisfied protagonists ride their horses and one says to the other, "You were right, Donnie, he didn't need that gold at all," end quote. And this is by Kirill Stelnikov from RIA Novosti. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.